I'm Sharon Bill. Welcome to my Music Theory Tuition series where I work with you step by step through the ABRSM Discovering Music Theory grades. I'll work through every single exercise and explain everything you need to know. You can access information about the books I have available to help you on my website. Go to sharonbill.com. For advert-free and longer lessons, you can become a patron at patreon.com/SharonBill. If you can give me a like, that would be super, and please do subscribe to my channel to stay updated. You can support this channel by buying me a coffee at buymeacoffee.com/SharonBill. We now have the opportunity to revise all of the topics we've learned so far. If you move with me to page 51 of the Grade 1 Discovering Music Theory workbook, we get to look at music in context, and this is where we look at a passage of music. So here we have a small section of music, 8 bars, and we get to do what's called analysis, where we will analyse what's going on in the music, and we'll see exactly how the composer has used different musical techniques to create the sound that he is after. And I think this is where music gets really interesting. This is why I really love music theory, because it's like peeling back the layers and we can start to understand exactly what's going on in the music. And so we glance at this piece of music written by Offenbach, and we can see that it's in treble clef. We've got a key signature of 2 sharps. We've got tempo markings, dynamic markings, different articulation markings. We've got some accidentals going on. We've got rests. And so there's lots here in which the composer has used different techniques to create the sound that he is after. And we're asked to study this melody and then answer the questions that follow. So if you feel like you're able to just have a go at this and just test yourself, then by all means do so. Alternatively, we can work through this one together and then you can perhaps feel a little bit more brave in the next exercise. Either way, always work in pencil, and then it doesn't matter if you go wrong. You can always just erase it and have another go. It's always better to learn by your mistakes. So by all means, just work through this one with me, but after that I do suggest you have a go on your own first and then check through the answers with me. It's much better to learn by your mistakes. So let's have a look at what we're asked here. So we're going to keep referring back to this melody. So we're asked to tick the correct key of this melody. So it's in C major, G major, D major or F major. Now we know that C major has no sharps or flats, G major has F sharps, D major has F sharps and C sharps, and F major has B flats. We need those different key signatures or accidentals applied to make the correct major scale pattern, and then a melody is made by rearranging the notes of that scale pattern with some extra additions if the composer decides. So we already noticed that there's a key signature of 2 sharps, F sharps and C sharps, and so that tells us that we must be in D major, because D major has a key signature of F sharps and C sharps. Now we're asked to tick the bar number that contains an accidental. So an accidental is a sharp or a flat or a natural sign that doesn't belong to the key signature, that's just added next to a note in addition to what's going on in the major key pattern. And so here we see we have an accidental, we have a D sharp here, bearing in mind we're in the treble clef, which really has no place in the key of D major. However, a composer is quite within his rights, or her rights, to deviate to create some little sort of chromatic harmonic alterations just to create the effect that they are after. Principally the key of the melody remains the same, we've just had a little bit of an alteration here. So bar 7 we have an accidental, so we can just go ahead and tick that. Now in C we're asked to complete the following 2 sentences. We've got 2 questions to answer here by ticking 1 box for each. So the longest note of the melody is So let's see, have we got a dotted crotchet, a minim, a dotted minim or a semi-breve? Well, let's see what the longest note of the melody is. So we've got quavers, which are half a beat. We've got crotchets, 1 beat. We've got a dotted minim here, which is 3 beats, because remember, a minim is 2 beats, and then a dot after a note is half as long again. Half of 2 is 1, so a dotted minim is 3 beats. Nothing longer than that, so here we have a dotted minim in bar 4, so the longest note is a dotted minim. And now we're asked to find the highest note in the melody. So before we start looking at the options, let's actually see what that high note is. So first of all, let's just see visually which is the highest. So this looks like an option. Same again. Same again. These are lower, so we get a few of these. This is the highest note in the melody. Bear in mind that we're in the treble clef, and so every good boy deserves. D is the highest note in the melody, so we can tick that one. Now, is it true or is it false for each of these statements? Is it true or false that the melody should be played very loudly? Let's see what the composer says. So here we have this dynamic marking. So MF, now F is forte, MF is mezzo forte, which means kind of half loud, middle loud, moderately loud. So that is not very loud. If we wanted it to be very loud, it would be fortissimo, which is the FF. So that is not very loud, it's moderately loud. So that's false. So yes, it's loud, but it's only moderately loud, so don't get thrown off the scent there. Now, is it true or false that the notes in bar 1 are tied? Let's have a look. So we have this here, which could trick you into thinking this is a tie. However, it's not, it's a slur. If you remember, although it's the same shape, a tie is note head, if I just sketch this out, note head to note head individually. And it's always got to be notes of the same pitch. Although it's the same shape, this is a slur, which is a sign that these are to be played smoothly. It's lots of different pitches, so we can't possibly add the note values together because we need to change the note. It just means that they are to be played smoothly. So although it's the same shape as a tie, it's applied differently, and that's a slur, so that's false. Is it true or false that the melody should be played at a medium speed? Let's see. So this is going to help us revise our Italian. So andante. Andante means at a walking pace or a moderate speed, sort of a medium walking speed. I suggest that would be therefore true. Is it true or is it false that the note in bar 4 should be held for 3 beats? Let's go back to bar 4. Well, we've already answered this question actually, haven't we? Because we've already answered that the longest note of the melody is a dotted minim. And so whilst we were working that out, we've already worked out that this dotted minim is worth 3 beats. And so now we already know that the answer to that is true, because we've already worked out that a dotted minim is indeed worth 3 beats. And so that's that question, that's the exercise completed, and it's given us a good revise of some previous topics that we perhaps haven't touched for a while. I hope this is helpful to your studies. Please do like and subscribe to stay updated. If you'd like to support this channel, you can buy me a coffee, and for advert-free lessons, you can become a patron. Do visit my website where you'll find many resources available to help you. Visit sharonbill.com. Thanks for watching. Bye.